السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله تعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة. My dear brothers and sisters, today is the day of the 29th of Ramadan, 1446 years after the Hijrah, or the migration of our beloved Prophet ﷺ, which coincides with March 29, 2025. Inshallah, today we are going to talk about the takbeer of Eid al Fitr. When does the takbeer of the Eid al Fitr start? Takbeer of the Eid al Fitr, there is a difference of opinion amongst the ulama al-kiram rahimahumullah ta'ala hayyan wa mayyitan. A group of the scholars, and from them Imam Al-shafee'ee, he mentioned in Kitab al, and also this is the position of Imam Ibn Hazm in our time, Ibn Baaz, Ibn Uthaymeen and others rahimahumullah ta'ala. They say that the takbeer of the Eid al Fitr starts from the sunset of the last day of Ramadan, and they interpret the ayah وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ in Surah Al-Baqarah verse number 185. وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ, and to complete the iddah, the time period. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ, and to glorify Allah, to make takbir of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of the guidance that Allah has given them. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you can be grateful. So this ayah they interpret, say وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ, meaning you have completed the time of Ramadan and now you start the takbir. So Imam Shafi says that for me it is, I recommend that people should start making the takbir from the sunset of the last day of Ramadan, wherever they are, in the market, in the souk, while walking, while sitting, etc., etc., until the day of the Eid. They go to the musalla and the imam comes and they stop the takbir at that time. Okay, and there is difference of opinion amongst the scholars when exactly, when the imam comes, or when the imam starts the salat, or when the imam finishes the salat, and all of these things. However, there is other position, which is a position of Imam Malik and Imam Ibn Rushd. They say that the Jamhoor ulama, their position is that in Eid al Fitr the takbir starts from the time in the morning when the person leaves the home to go to the Eid Musalla or the Eid prayer, and he or she, men and women, children, young and old, everybody loudly recites the takbir all the way until they reach the Musalla, and they continue to make the takbir while they are in the Musalla until the Imam comes, and if he makes takbir, they make takbir. If he stops and he prays, they stop. This is the second position, what looks to be the position which is also supported by Imam Al Albani and others in our time, is what is correct. What is the evidence? The evidence is, first of all, we have the hadith of Zuhri, Muhammad ibn Shihab al-Zuhri, who was from the Sigar al-Tabe'een. He said that Allah's Messenger ﷺ would leave his house on the day of Fitr saying takbir until he reached the Musalla to perform the prayer. Once he had performed the prayer, he would stop making the takbir. However, since Zuhri is Sigar Tabi'een, the chain of narration, and he doesn't mention the Sahabi, the chain of narration is Mursal, so it is da'if, not authentic. But there is a narration in Al-Bayhaqi, Sunnah Al-Bayhaqi, on the authority of Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu. He said that the Messenger ﷺ would go out on both the days of Eid, meaning Eid al Fitr and Eid al Adha, with Fadl ibn Abbas, with Abdullah ibn Abbas, with Abbas, which is his uncle, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Jafar ibn Abi Talib, Al-Hasan, Al-Hussein, these are the children of, grandchildren of the Prophet ﷺ, Usama ibn Zayd, and Zayd ibn al-Haritha, and Ayman ibn Ayman, may Allah be pleased with them, raising his voice with tahleel and takbir, and would take one path going towards the Musalla, and while coming back he would take the other path. This is what the narration says in Sunan al-Bayhaqi. However, in the chain there is a narrator called Abdullah ibn Umar al-Umari, Abdullah ibn Umar al-Umari al-Mukabbar. Abdullah ibn Umar al-Umari is from the family of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, from the great grandchildren Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, and he has a problem with the memory. He is da'if. So that's why Shaykh Al Albani, he brings this hadith in Silsilatil Ahadith al-Sahiha to strengthen the narration of a Zuhri, to conclude that the Eid al Fitr time you have only one takbeer, and that is a takbeer that you say when you leave the home until all the way the Imam comes to say the Salat. Abdullah ibn Umar al-Umari, he has a brother Ubaidillah ibn Umar al-Umari. So Abdullah ibn Umar and Ubaidillah ibn Umar. As for Abdullah ibn Umar, when they asked this question to Shaykh Al Albani rahmatullahi alayhi, he said that Abdullah ibn Umar al-Mukabbar hadithuhu da'if. Abdullah ibn Umar, Abdullah, meaning it's his same, al-Mukabbar means Abdullah, the son, the slave of Allah, in a larger sense. But Ubaidillah means a small slave of Allah. So Ubaidillah ibn Umar al-Musaghar, but he's a thiqa, he's trustworthy. So you're saying these two brothers from the same family, one of them is da'if and the other one is thiqa. Anyway, this narration, because of Abdullah ibn Umar al-Umari, the chain is weak. However, they strengthen each other, and to show that, Imam Al Albani brought this in Silsilatil Ahadith al-Sahiha. Also we have in the Mushkil al-Athar of Imam al-Tahawi, النافع عن ابن عمر أنه كان يخرج يوم الفطر ويوم الأضحى يكبر يرفع بذلك صوته حتى يجيء المصلى. Nafi, the freed slave of Ibn Umar, said when Abdullah ibn Umar went out on the morning of Eid al Fitr, Abdullah ibn Umar is a sahabi here, Abdullah ibn Umar ibn Khattab, who was also a sahabi, he would say the takbeer, meaning Abdullah ibn Umar, aloud till he reached the musalla, then he would say it until the Imam arrived. And this is, as I mentioned, in the book of Mushkil al-Athar by Tahawi, and also Firyabi, Imam al-Firyabi, he mentioned in Ahkam al-Aidain, and the narration has been authenticated by Imam Al Albani rahmatullahi alayh. Also Imam Firyabi reported with authentic chain to Al-Walid ibn Muslim, who said, I asked Al-Awza'i, this is Awza'i, Abdurrahman Al-Awza'i, who is the Mufti of Asham in his time, and he also asked Malik ibn Anas, who is the Mufti of Dar al-Hijrah, Medina, regarding making takbir loudly on the day of the two Eids. Both of them said yes. Abdullah ibn Umar used to make it loud on the day of Fitr until the Imam came to lead the prayer. And this is very famously known from Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi. This is his position that on the Eid al Fitr, the takbir starts from the time the person leaves the home to go to the musalla and continues saying it loudly until the Imam comes. Then he reported on the authority of Abu Abdurrahman as-Sulami, who said they used to make the takbir of Fitr louder than al-Adha. And Waqi' ibn Jarrah, he said that means the takbir, meaning the takbir of the Eid. So the Eid al Fitr, the takbir was louder than on the Eid al Adha, and this is also mentioned in Irwa al-Ghalil with the chain. Also we have in Mushkil al-Athar a very beautiful hadith on the authority of Ibn Zubayr, Abdullah ibn Zubayr radiallahu anhu. He said that Abdullah ibn Zubayr, he came out, one of the narrator, Tamim ibn Salama, he said Ibn Zubayr came out on the day of Eid and saw people not making takbir. They were not enthusiastic to make takbir, and this is the condition of the people in our time. They come to the Eid prayer and they sit like a shy unmarried woman, everybody, and they don't want to raise their voice unless somebody grabs the microphone and screams and sings the takbir, and everybody then feel encouraged to sing with him, to do this bidah. This Jama takbirat is bidah, is not from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Yes, if everybody makes takbir loudly and it kind of coincides and it is not meant to be like that, there is no problem. But you appoint somebody and he screams and he sings and everybody sings with him, this is bidah. This was not done by the Prophet ﷺ, as-sahabatul kiram radiallahu anhum. So is this something that we should practice. Also from the mistakes of those people who establish the Eid prayer, they say that takbir will start at 8 o'clock, prayer will start at 9 o'clock. How the takbir starts at 8 o'clock? You should teach the people the takbir starts individually. So if you start from your home at 7 o'clock, your takbir starts at 7. If you live far away from the musalla and you have to leave at 6 o'clock, your takbir starts at 6 o'clock. So you explain to the people, instead of telling them all of these bid'ah and your newly invented matters and the way they want to do it, they keep on doing this, you advise them, but they unfortunately do not listen and they don't establish the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So we should be vocal about it in the nice way and keep on telling them what is correct. And alhamdulillah, the Muslims should know that it is their individual responsibility to say the takbir loudly, men and women loudly. And takbirat is of there's different variations, different wordings. Inshallah, we will quickly mention some of those. So anyway, he said when he saw that the people are not enthusiastic to make the takbir, he said, what happened? Why don't you make takbir by Allah? Since they stopped, let me tell you. Meaning Ibn Zubayr is saying that these people, they are not making takbir, so let me tell them. You would see us in a large group, the end of which you cannot see. Meaning they used to gather in the musalla, the whole town, huge amounts. You cannot even see the end of the people. Such a huge crowd they would gather. And he said a man would make takbir and those around him until the group will resonate. So they would make takbir together. And between you and them is the distance between the lowest of the earth and the highest of the heaven. Meaning there's a big difference between you and them. Look at them, how enthusiastically they used to make the takbir, and look at you, you are sitting and you are not making takbir. So they say that, we need encouragement. Okay, so you encourage. When you are sitting in the gathering and you are going to say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd, and this is the takbir of Ibn Mas'ud, and there's different wordings from Ibn Mas'ud, Ibn Abbas, and they are all authentic inshallah. So there will be people who will be around you and they will also say it, and if they don't, you encourage them. Please brothers, don't talk, make the takbir. This is our unique opportunity. Look at the Christians, how they celebrate their Christmas with singing and dancing and spending billions of dollars for things which has no foundation in their religion. Even they will say the Christmas is from the dream of so and so, the nativity scene is from the dream of such and such person, the Santa Claus is the figure that so and so German cartoonist draw on such a. They have the history of all of this bidat, but they enthusiastically perform all these things religiously. We don't have to take example from them, but we need to understand that our religion is from Allah. Our ibadat is from Allah. So why are we shy about these things? If these people are filthy, doing their filthy promotions in the name of loving Jesus, we love Prophet Isa alayhi salam, they also claim to love Prophet Isa alayhi salam. We have no problem with the love of Prophet Isa alayhi salam, but we have a problem with the way to prove this love. The way we can prove our love for Prophet Isa alayhi salam, for our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is to follow their sunnah, their way. Prophet Isa alayhi salam didn't do these things, so they should not be doing it because they love Prophet Isa, and we should not be doing any of this. Many Muslims, unfortunately, they are more enthusiastic to go and participate in all of these non-Islamic celebrations. Leave them with their things, and if you have an opportunity to advise them politely, nicely advise them, but you should not be participating in their things. And they say that if we don't, they will be alienated from us. They will not be alienated from us. We are not there to be their enemy, to harm them for their celebrations or to destroy their celebrations. Let them do their celebration, but we should be enthusiastic to establish our celebration. When we go to the musalla, there are non-Muslims who are watching us. You make the takbir loudly, they might ask you, what do you do, brother? What do you do on this day? What are you saying? You can explain to them, this means glorification of Allah. Allah is the creator of the heavens and the earth. Allah is the one who gave us everything. So we only worship Allah. And you explain the Eid prayer and the celebration of the Muslims in such a beautiful way that could be a da'wah for them. Anyway, so Abdullah ibn Zubayr said, between you and between them is a huge difference. So then we have the hadith, of course, of Atiyya radiyallahu anha, and this is in Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim. She said, we used to be ordered to come out on the day of Eid and even bring out our virgin girls, meaning those who are unmarried, from their houses, and the women who are menstruating, so that they might stand behind the men and say the takbeer along with them and invoke Allah along with them and hope for the blessings on that day and the tuhra, or the purification from the sins. So all of these are showing to us that takbeer was done in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and the correct practice is what? On the Eid al Fitr, that you leave your home and you keep on making the takbeer loudly all the way until the Imam comes. As for the position that the takbeer starts from the sunset of the last day of Ramadan, this position, Wallahu A'lam, doesn't look like to be correct, but yes, big scholars have chosen this position. In our time, Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, Shaykh Ibn Baaz, but we are not blind followers of our mashayikh. We look at the evidences. In tanaza'tum fi shay'in, Allah Ta'ala says, if there is a difference, you're differing about something, farudduhu ila Allahi wa rasulihi, what? Wa rasuli, wa rasuli. If you differ about something, then go back to Allah and His Messenger and the Messenger, meaning go to the Kitab and the Sunnah and see why so and so said this, why so and so said this. So when we look at the other position, which I just mentioned, we have the mursal narration of Zuhri, we have the little bit weak narration of Al-Bayhaqi of Abdullah ibn Umar, we have the hadith of Mu'atiyya and Sahih al-Bukhari, we have the authentic athar from Abdullah ibn Umar, his practice in Muwatta Imam Malik and others, and all of this. And also we have the narration of Az-Zuhri in Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba, and chain of narration authentic. He said, people said the takbeer on the day of Eid from the time they left home till they reached the musalla and until the Imam arrived. When the Imam arrived, they would be silent. And Zuhri, as we mentioned, he is from the Sighar Tabe'een, and in this specific narration, he is explaining the practice of the Muslims in Medina at that time. Muhammad ibn Shihab al-Zuhri is telling us the practice of the Muslims in Medina in his time, and this is very close to the time of sahabah al-kiram. And on top of that, as the narration we have discussed, what looks to be correct is the position of Imam Malik and those who have chosen the position that Eid al Fitr we have only one takbeer, and the takbeer starts from the time we leave the home all the way until we go to the musalla, and we continue making the takbeer until the Imam comes, and when the Imam finishes the salat, the takbeer finishes. As for the wordings of the takbeer, we have no authentic narration from the Prophet ﷺ with the wordings, what to say. But from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud and Abdullah ibn Abbas with authentic chain of narration, we have different versions. And the version which we usually say, as just stick to that inshallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, 3 times, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahil hamd. And the other version from Ibn Mas'ud, 2 times Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahil hamd. All of these are authentic inshallah, and it's better that we always stick to what is narrated from the Sahabat al-Kiram radiallahu anhum instead of inventing our own takbirat. And as we mentioned, it should not be done in jama'at, individually should be done and loudly should be done, so that the place should resonate with the takbirat of and the glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the dua, and to seek the tuhra, the purification of this day and the barakah of this day. This is the way we should focus in making the takbirat. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.